I have been asked a number of times to make a video on how to navigate with a paper map. I always thought that this is something very simple and there is nothing to be explained, but it turns that in the days of internet, the modern days of smartphones, GPS and everything, many people have no idea how to use a paper map. So in this video, I'll try to explain as simple as possible the way I understand it, and I will also give you some very useful directions on what you really need if you decide to navigate yourself by paper map. So if you have nothing to do, stay with me. Welcome back. If you don't know me, my name is Pavlin and I'm a motorcycle traveler. In this channel I usually upload anything related to long motorcycle trips, so you might consider subscribing. For those of you who are wondering where's my lucky hat, don't even worry about it, it is in my tank bag. The reason I don't have it now is because the sun is right over there on the sky, and if I have my hat now, it will create this nasty shadow over my face and you won't be able to see me. That's why I decided to remove it. Back to the topic, paper maps. I guess that most of you will expect me to tell you now that the paper maps are the best way to navigate yourself, because I always have it on all of my trips. But I will disappoint you and will tell you that they are very practical way, very good way, but definitely not the only way and not the best way. More about it later. Just because they are used for many years, proven in many adventures around the world, does not make them the best option to navigate yourself. They're popular because it is very easy to get them, usually costs nothing, easy to use if you know how, and many more. This makes them the most popular option, but definitely not the best. So for many people like me, they're priceless. I love them. I always got a paper map, always keep it with me and keep it after the trip. But for some people, they might be absolutely pointless. Alright, let's say that you finally decided to have a paper map on your next trip. There are a few important moments that you have to be careful. The very first is the scale of the map or the size of the map. Let me explain. This is the map of Australia, or to be more precise, the east coast of Australia. The scale of this map is 1 to 1,800,000. You can see this number here on the top. What actually this means? This means that 1 centimeter of the map is equal to 1,800,000 centimeters on the real terrain. But you don't need to worry about all of these numbers, because they will make you even more confused. Because I'm gonna give you a very simple guide how to find a proper map. The first map is Australia. The scale of this map is 1 to 1,800,000. You can see that it covers one very small part of Australia, and even so, because Australia is a very big country, there is no so many details here. Yes, the main roads, some small roads, villages, towns, but if you want to go deeper, you can't find what you really need. If we move to the next map, which is New Zealand, or to be more precise, the North Island of New Zealand, the scale of this map is 1 to 1 million. A little bit better than the map of Australia, but still not very detailed. Yes, the highways, some of the roads, many things, many towns, many villages, but not everything. And now I can move to the third, which is the map of Romania, or part of Romania. And the scale of this map is 1 to 600,000, even better. So you can see that there are many more details here. Don't worry, it's not that complicated. It will get easy and easy. Just bear with me, right? What you have to remember now is that the biggest or the larger the number of the scale or of the size is, less information you're gonna have on the map. For some countries like Russia or Australia, you have to buy a number of cards just to cover everything properly. Otherwise, you're gonna have only the main roads, and most of the time you'll be in trouble because you wouldn't be able to navigate yourself properly. That's it. The first important moment was to find a proper map, or the scale of the map. The second thing that you have to make once you already bought the map is to read the information, or the legend. It usually stays on the rear side of the map, and it shows all symbols which already exist on the map. Highways, secondary roads, dirt roads, paved roads, petrol stations, and many more. Once you understand these symbols, you'll be able to find them and understand them once you open the map. The third important thing that you have to do is to find on the map the places that you would like to visit. As I did, you can see it here. I have many different points that I would like to see. For some of you, This might be very difficult, especially if you never did it before, but you can use Google Maps or your telephone to locate the place and then find it on the map. And once you find it on the map, you can circle it, as I did with a red marker, so I can find it easily next time. Once you're ready with the important points, then you can start drawing your route, your actual route, as I did with these red points. I mark it exactly where I would like to go. All the different roads and connections, and if there is something important, I always put a different note. For example, I need to meet here Paul, I named Paul. I need to meet Bruce here, I made Bruce, and Jeff, and many more information signs that actually helps me on the road. And you might need to learn how to use one important tool, the compass. If you don't know how to use the compass, there is nothing I can do for you. Go back to the school, learn it, and then come back. Once you did all of this, it's like the normal GPS. This is exactly what your GPS do. Mark all the roads that you would like to visit. If you have a GPS track loaded on your navigation system, this is exactly the same. But here I did it by myself, drawing on the map. And in some information signs or even in Google Maps, you can find many different directions saying that you can find this, let's say, nice waterfall is from Rotorua. So you can use your compass, put it like this, north is always on the top, and have a look on the east. So it should be somewhere here, or west, or northwest, or east, southeast, whatever the direction is. You can use the compass just to find it easy. The difference between the paper map, the route that I planned on a paper map, and the route that you can have uploaded in your GPS is that here I can open the map and see everything in large scale, instead of focusing on this small whatever inch screen you have. So when you complete everything, when you finish with the important points, when you mark the route, when you have everything, what you need to do is just to fold the map on the specific part of the trip where you are at the moment and just follow the direction. That's everything. And one more thing that you can use are the information signs. They're everywhere. People are traveling from many years, include me. The GPS units are live or work from 10-15 years, but I travel from so many years, so you can use the information signs. They're everywhere. So when I travel, I usually look for signs and then check it with my map. And if everything is in order, I just continue travel. It's not that bad. You just need some practice. As I said already, it sounds like something very complicated, but actually it is not. You just need a little practice. And who knows, you might even like it. All right, let me now tell you what a paper maps gives you, or what is the difference between paper map and the GPS unit, at least for me. So I have this different perspective. I can see the whole trip. I can see the whole country. I can see everything. Also, paper maps needs nothing. No power, no batteries, nothing. It works all the time. The second is that by having the map all the time, you actually learn a lot about the country. By looking on all of these different roads, rivers, landscapes, you're actually learning. And also it is very easy to ask for directions if you have a map. So you stop on the road and ask someone, where is this or where is that? Especially old people, when you show them the map, they know the towns, they know the area, and they will point you. It's not like to open the telephone. Some people never use telephones for that. And the third is that because you're going to spend so much time looking on this map before the trip, during the trip, even if you lose the map, all the information will be already here. So you'll remember at least 50% of all of the landscapes and roads and rivers, and you can continue traveling. All right, so far only positives, but what are the cons? What are the downsides of having a map with you? Well, there are a few. First, you have to find a proper map. You have to own the map, you have to store the map. Believe or not, for some countries, as I said, Australia, Russia, or if you plan to go to Central Asia, you'll need a number of cards. For Central Asia, I've got 8 different cards with me, and you have to store it somewhere. Believe or not, it's a problem in some stage. And with the simple GPS unit, you can have hundreds of maps in small SD card or something like that. The next big con is that you cannot navigate yourself in the towns. To do so, you have to buy a different map exactly for the town. If on your trip you include 20 different towns, you'll need 20 different maps, and this is a big problem. But you can still manage to do it somehow. If the towns are not big, You can just ask people or look for signs. It's not that bad. I do it all the time, but it is definitely a con. The third is that you cannot really calculate the time or the kilometers that you have to cover for the day. With the GPS unit, it's easy. You just press the button and it will tell you you have 320 kilometers and you'll be there 5:30. You can't make this with the map. You can, but you have to make a lot of calculations and all will be just estimate. And I don't think that it will worth anything. So just to make a conclusion, is the paper map the best way of traveling? No, it is not. It is one of the most practical, useful, cheap way to use it. It is definitely not the best. What I do, or my style, on my style of trips and my style of travelings, I always have a paper map with me on my tank bag, but I also prefer to have a GPS unit if I need to find address somewhere. On my last trip, I did it without any problems, without any GPS, but a few times in big towns, I needed to use my telephone just to find a specific addresses. So I really hope, guys, that this information will help you, at least one person, to make the right choice. If you want to learn more about long motorcycle trips, check the rest of the videos on the channel. I have more than 700 on almost every topic. Use the search bar and you will find everything you need. If you want to learn more but you don't have the time, you can consider joining my online course. Always ride safe and see you next time.